wanted to talk a little bit about Gallantmon. I think that a lot of folks right now are looking at, you're probably seeing lists from Asia, and you're like, man, I don't know what to do. Because it feels like a lot of folks their Gallantmon lists are still kind of all over the place. And there's a lot of decks right now. If you've seen this week's meta report, then you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about, because I fill in quite a bit more there. But if you haven't, definitely check it out after this. It feels like a lot of folks' Gallantmon lists are still kind of all over the place. And in the case that an opponent doesn't present a board that you can interact with, you kind of miss out on a lot of the perks and bonuses that the X-Antibody cards give you with the +1 memory if you can delete something on your opponent's side of the board. And when you're fighting like Velgramon or Red Hybrid, it's kind of like, what am I supposed to do? So I've been messing with a list. This is not the list that I won locals with last week, and I'm gonna be real honest with you. It's not even what I would consider a good list. I'm just trying it out. So before someone screenshots it, posts it up on a Discord forum or somewhere online, and then people get mad at me and say, that's a bad list. This content creator's making a bad list. Calm down. Please, I'm just testing something. Let me try something. Jesus Christ. So with that out of the way, this is what I've been messing with recently. First of all, I completely ripped out all the stuff I don't really care about. And when I really looked at the deck, the three things that I was most interested in were this card, BT12 War Growlmon, this card, EX8 War Growlmon X, and this card, Digimon X-Antibody. Honestly, the rest of the deck is just like built around these three cards. If I can make this stack, I'm probably gonna fuck you up. Just pretty straightforward. If I can make level 5, level 6, your ass might be grass. And yeah, you'll notice that some of the things that you're probably expecting in this deck aren't here. So for example, BT19 Growlmon is not here because BT12 is. And why is that? BT12 Growlmon lets me play a Takuto Tamer if I don't have one on the board. The BT19 Growlmon says that if I have 2 or less Tamers, or 1 or less Tamers on the board, I can play a Takuto Tamer. But if I have 2 Cool Boys, I'm effed. So this is the reason that I've got the switch here. So this way, even if I have 3 Cool Boys up, I can still play a Takuto Tamer. I've cut all of the discard or mill stuff entirely. I don't care about it. I can't evolve Black Growlmon into Growlmon X-Antibody, so I don't need it. I don't want to mill my own cards with the level 5 to not be able to get them back except a Tamer or a Gamon. And I've already got this Growlmon, so I don't really feel like I need them. So I only care about getting memory back, cheap evolves, and Sec +1 and protection. Additionally, Cool Boy is here, and I've cut all of the other Takutos because the other Takutos are great. The warp is cool, and maybe I can mix this up and put one of the warps back in, but for the most part, this is okay. The Cool Boy gives me a way to cheaply set up a board and still be able to benefit if my opponent presents no board. The simple fact that I can evolve into, from a level 5 War Growlmon to a level 5 War Growlmon X means that if I have these on board, even if I don't delete anything, I'm getting memory back. And I can compound that with the fact that BT12 also gives me memory back if nothing is on the board. 2 of these Gamon here, just in case, because I do run a couple of scrambles as a way to get something back if it's like put into the trash. I do have some X-Antibody proto forms. I've got 2 as a way to also do that as well. So for example, if I not mill, but if a Duke X is in security, it gets trashed, then I have a way to pull it back somehow. With this anyway. You'll notice I run a split of the 2 X-Antibodies here, 2 Protoform and 2 regular. It's so hard to choose in this deck, really, in my opinion. It's kind of tough because whenever I evolve into Duke X, I want to be swinging. Also, I've got one of Crimson Mode Ace, the BT13 Digimon here, and then BT17 Digimon who gives big buffs. Also, because I've got Cool Boys in here and the Gamon X-Antibody, I feel like there's almost no way I don't see an X-Antibody in the game. So I always feel confident I'll have an X-Antibody in some form or fashion. The deck also has incredible draw power because I've got 8 searchers here, 4 of the Growlmon X's for more card draw. I've got the Digimon and Raising, Cool Boys, memory boosts, defense trainings. The only issue I have with this deck is that if I even breathe in the direction of a Mirage player, I evaporate. I just vaporize myself if I even look at a Mirage player. And that's where I'm really struggling. Because I feel like this helps me fight against the hybrids a little bit better, but Mirage, I'm drawing too much. And it's really hard to get around that. I could start skipping stuff, which is not awful, but then my evolves, they skyrocket in cost. So I gotta be really careful. Okay, so let me go back to the X-Antibodies for just a moment. So I told you before, I really only care about these 3 cards. If I'm trying to kill you, these are like the best ways of doing it. If you imagine the full stack is like this, plus 3,000, can't be bounced, blow up something for 10k, and this guy here as well. If I do this, and then go here for 0, and then go into this guy for 3, I pop off a security, but I can't unsuspend, and that effect is not like you can choose, I don't think. So I only get 1 attack with my Duke X, which kind of sucks, right? So I get the cost -1, but whatever. However, if I've really been thinking about this deck, y'all. I've got a little homeboy on the field, which I typically do. You can do something like strap this in here. We're at 0, right? Or we could be at 1, doesn't matter. We go here for 1 turn ends. I swing with him, and then I can evolve again. So I might be giving away a lot, but I unsuspend, I pop a security, I check 2, and if I have like 1 cool boy or any amount of cool boys on the board, then I can start to I can reduce this cost. And that, again, that's assuming I start from 0. So if I'm even at 1 and I have like 1 cool boy, I keep my turn and I can swing again. And that's off the first check. You pop off 1 security, check 2, and then the second check is 2 more. So I wipe your security with this stack right here. That's the thinking. So with the lower end cards, I like the proto form. Like if I'm going into like, you know, this guy into this guy, proto form is cool. 3 cost evolve, whatever. But if I'm swinging with Duke, Count Duke, give me my second swing. I want to do it again. And so yeah, hopefully this, in my testing, it's helped me fight some of the hybrids a little bit better. Again, I evaporate to Mirage, but it is what it is. But that's like 1 bad matchup, I think, or like 1 tough matchup out of the way. I'm just trading 1 for another. Luckily, not a lot of people are playing raw Mirage. A lot of it's like Galaxy Toolbox Mirage. So yeah, that's my Gallantmon. I'll test it out for probably another week, and if I don't like it, I'll just swap back to my normal stuff. My actual normal build isn't that different. I just don't have the cool boys in there. I run a little bit more of a Takuto package as a way, and I do run the BT19 Gallantmons. So yeah, if you're looking for a list that doesn't need a lot of the BT19 cards, that was I think one of them. Were there any 19 cards in here at all, actually? Oh, I lied. Rest in peace. It's this guy. The Tamer is 19. Never mind, I lied. 4K. Caught. But I think that's the only card. Yeah, maybe you could run some Blitz Takutos instead. But yeah, these are 12s. These are EX8s, 12s. Yeah, it's all like 12 EX8, huh? 13. That's 17. Yeah. So if you're trying to build a list without BT19, try that. Again, I'm not saying it's going to be amazing, but I think it's a lot more focused on a lot of the lists that are running around right now. They have like 2 of the Mill War Growlmons, 2 of the Memory War Growlmons I just showed, 1 Ace. There's a lot. It's a lot. So, with that said, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Why not BT12 Gallantmon to raid on Mirage? Because Takuto gives me a raid as well. Yeah, I think the BT12 Gallantmon is really cool, but it is a little greedy. I was talking to Seiji about this, and he actually tried it out. And I was like, I couldn't do it. I'm too much of a coward. I just went with the BT17s for the big DP buff. And typically, you're not going to need like 29,000. Or like, 25,000. That's overkill, but just in case, I have one of the BT17s in the deck. But I think that the raid, it's a little greedy. You're also spending 1 extra memory, which I don't want to do. But yeah, he does, like, if you do get the level 4 and keep turn, or the level 6 with raid and keep your turn, you get to pop off a security, and if you have an X-Antibody, you can go in, you'll basically, I think, just kill someone. I think it's like GG's. I think it's GG's. Someone do the math. I'm a card gamer. I can't be bothered.